The 2025 astrology, all signs, fortune is what this video is all about here. So the astrology of 2025 shows major changes, transformations, letting go, material gains, success, money moves, finances, and stepping into your life's purpose, which is freaking powerful here. Because trust me, this year is going to be the year of cosmic drama, planets in action, as well as stepping up and leveling up into the most authentic version of yourself out there. There's a lot of huge shifts in love, intimacy, sex, as well as money and career here. So if you are seeking a deep dive of the astrology in 2025 and your personal fortune based on your rising sign, sun, and moon, then you are in the right place, boo. Hey, Shameless Squad, what's up? I am Shamelessly Sexy Jackie here, she, hers. I am a certified sex therapist turned sexual confidence coach and spiritual entrepreneur who makes videos on self-care, mental health, psychic tarot and energy reads, and more empowerment tips for you, boo. So make sure to hit subscribe and never miss out on any of these sexy astrology, self-care tips I have for you and empowerment from me, Shamelessly Sexy Jackie here. If you want to book a private reading with me or kind of figure out what's in store for you this next year ahead, check the description box below. All the information is in there, boo. So let's talk about this. We are going to be going through a deep dive fortune in regards of all 12 zodiac signs. This is going to be based on your rising sign for the 2025 year ahead. So I'm going to be talking about love and relationships, career, finances, sex, spirituality and self-care, home life, and any other big changes that you kind of need to know about. So if you want to go back and check out my other video in regards of the astrology 2025 to understand a little bit about what the planets are doing and how they're going to affect you, there's also a little rising sign horoscope in there for you too, boo. Definitely go back and watch that video here as well. So let's just kick it off here. Aries rising, for your love and relationships, you are really going to be detoxing a lot of these this next year, okay? Especially with the Venus retrograde in your sign and during your season, this is going to be something that's going to be really good for you, healthy for you, and you are really going to be thinking about your partnerships, and you are going to be attracting new partners once you clear the clutter and cut the cords here overall. Cord cutting rituals could be really good for you to do early on this year when Venus retrograde is around in your sign, as well as like reflecting on the relationship with yourself and others and values and any types of like unhealthy red flag relationships overall for you. So definitely check out my relationship inventory if you would like to see. That is in the store box here. That could be a really good resource for you to use this next year. In career and finances, Jupiter is bringing you lots of opportunities to network, be a part of the community, and really talk to people about what you're doing with communication. So you could also find, a lot of people online, technology, social media, as well as like people in your neighborhood, siblings, or friends could be really showing you some different ways and connecting you to some new jobs here. So it's very exciting. If you've been wanting to write or speak more, this is the year and this is the sign in 2025 for you to do it, Bill. Okay. Let's talk about sex, baby. Okay. So get ready to rediscover your desires because 2025, that is in store for you. A lot of you are going to be exploring your sexy self-care more, how sex has changed, as well as just speaking up for yourself and taking the lead sexually and advocating for your sexuality. This is really important for you to go within during Venus retrograde, using that time for sexy self-care, sexual self-care, so intimacy, pleasure, and sex, and breaking down the differences between all of them and going to inward to understand what it is that I love and what are the things that I desire and I require when it comes to sex with me, pleasure with me, intimacy with me, and a partner, partners, or spouse here, right? Or even future partners if you're single too, boo. So that's great to figure out now and do that work now at the beginning of the year and the astrological year during your sign and your season, Aries, because it's going to feel like a level up boss energy. With spirituality and self-care, Saturn is going to be really urging you to deep dive into spiritual work, parts of the psyche and mental health here overall, and work on any healing. For a lot of you, this could be hidden secrets, hidden abuse, shame, affairs. This could be, healing your inner child overall all moving forward. So there could be a lot of things where some of you might be seeking, therapy or coaching. And again, that's collective energies overall too here. It's not just you, Aries. So we're not just calling you out, my Aries babies, but journaling can really get you out of your mind here a little bit. If you are having a lot of ruminative thoughts, racing thoughts, a lot of stress or anxiety about things, that could be a helpful tool. Or even meditation and living mindfully in the moment, grounding and slowing down your energy. So balancing both. Your home life is really going to be important for you by mid-year to really have this solid stability, because Saturn later is going to encourage you to set boundaries with loved ones. And so again, being able to go within early on during your season, Aries, it's going to be important for you to really check in with yourself about different types of relationships, what's healthy, what's not healthy, relationship red flags, green flags, and how do I prioritize the relationship with number one, and that's you, boo, okay? With big changes, you are going to be stepping into a beautiful, powerful year where you really feel a new sense of your personal power in order to really lead with stronger boundaries and holding them and setting them in love, in career, in relationships, in all these different areas of your life. So I love this for you, Aries risings. Taurus risings, let's talk about you. So with love and relationships, we have Jupiter really challenging you and wanting you to reflect on your own personal values, your self-worth, your self-esteem. And in order for you to really love yourself and also share in this pleasure with other people, you'll naturally attract people. So this is like the video and the energy of like you working on your confidence naturally attracts more people to you, because that is the number one thing that we are shamelessly attracted to, and the number one sexy thing that we love about people is their confidence. So Taurus, this is going to be very important for you to step into your confidence and fucking own it this year, okay? Because this will align with deeper desires. You're going to crave some stability, and you're also going to really want to set requirements of solid foundations and loves and relationships, and also rethink about like existing relationships. If you are questioning things, definitely question and also communicate. So communication is key, comprehension is key, clarification is key, and implementation is key. So all of those are going to be keys to your success this year in love and relationships. Money is going to be a really hot topic for you, Taurus risings, and I love this. Uranus is in your sign here, right? So really expect a lot of surprises of windfalls, money, income, different things, or even an unexpected resource person even just gifting you money, or a brand new job opportunity landing in your lap. So there could be lots of shifts and changes in career navigations, maybe getting a promotion, a bonus, a raise, multiple things here that you're going to be stepping into for those that are open and want to receive that too. So congratulations. Let's talk about sex, baby. You'll feel more adventurous with Uranus kind of shaking up your routine here overall. So really stay open, be flexible here, and new fantasies can really spark with a partner, partners, or spouse overall. So it's really important for you to also identify your own solo sexual self-care with, well, what are my own fantasies here? And this is a really great way for you to prepare for this in the future with anyone that's single, or anyone that really wants to think about like, what are the types of sex I want to have? What are my definitions? What are my narratives? How can I create the sensual experience here? Because you are a sensual sign, Taurus. And so this is going to be important for you to really think about some of these things with new fantasies overall. With your spirituality and self-care, this is going to be important for you to ground yourself, work with your element this year, especially during Venus retrograde. Really reconnect with your inner values and get outside, get in nature, be with Mother Gaia during this time, because it's just going to naturally be a healer for you to then go within and think about the things you want with the relationship for self-love, self-esteem, self-confidence, and then how you may show up with partners, partner, or spouse here too. Your home life, Mars later on this year could cause some tension at home, so pay attention to that. So practice some patience with partners. Treat your partner, Esther Perel, if you know, she talks about like For a therapist, imagine if we treat our clients as if they were our partners. We might come off very different in our approach, right? So maybe treat people around you, if you've got kids, if you have a spouse, if you have a parenting partner, if you have family members staying with you, or people coming in and out of your home here, right? Really practice treating that person as a partner, or someone that you really love here, and some patience with people. Avoid blow-ups, Taurus, okay? I know you're like a very emotional sign, even if y'all don't admit it all the time. I got you in my chart, boo, so I know too. But avoid any reactive behavior. It's really important for you to respond to situations and slow down and not react. Reaction is projecting your anger onto other people, displacing your emotions onto other people, rather than responding and saying, I notice I'm feeling the sensation. My fists are clenching up here. I want to punch a wall. I'm very angry, and I'm going to instead choose to name it to tame it, say these things out loud. And maybe I need to like hold a stress ball. Maybe I need to breathe it out a little bit here and slow down my energies, right? The big changes for you this year, it's really exciting, are going to be the financial breakthroughs. So congratulations. Money is definitely going to bring you a lot more security this year, and this in turn will also bring you a lot of security and confidence in your relationships, like not only with other people and loved ones too, but just even in the relationships with yourself. And a lot of you are going to feel like, oh my gosh, I arrived. So I really love this story and how it's playing out for you. My Gemini risings, boo. Let's talk about love and relationships here. So Jupiter's in your sign here, right? It is at its detriment. And we talked about this in the previous video of how this is going to affect the collective. So definitely go back and watch that for you specifically, Gemini. That's important. But this is really bringing an expansion into your love life here, okay? Relationships could be a lot more exciting for you this year. I mean, love, friendships, partnerships, just all these different things. And you are going to naturally attract partners who mentally and emotionally stimulate you. So a lot of you could be looking for emotional intimacy, deeper conversations, and someone that can really keep your interest here. A lot of you, again, Geminis, might be looking for love in multiple people or partners and dating a lot of people with Jupiter in your sign. Just don't get it twisted that you feel like, oh my gosh, I need to go on this date and then this date and then this Tinder bait and then that Tinder bait and then that Tinder bait. Like, slow your roll. Take it one step at a time and enjoy the process of this, and really be aware with the people that are mentally stimulating and emotionally stimulating and attractive to you. Is going to be really good. Let's talk about money and career here. So Saturn is going to be really grounding you down in your professional ambitions. You are going to be zoned in and really working hard on some things. If you have been inconsistent overall, it's really time to step it up. Like really step up to the plate, figure out the game plan here, right, in baseball, and like smash it out of the park, okay? Expect a lot of long-term rewards if you put in the work now. So athletes, like practice how you play. That's what I tell clients that I coach on, in sexual wellness and life coaching and the different things here, right? And really, like, if you want to actually reap these long-term rewards here and get a home run, you think baseballers just like get up to the plate once and they smash it out of the park? No, they are legit practicing their craft every single day, probably daily, or 6 out of the 7 days a week, working on this, zoning in and focusing on it. So Geminis, pay attention to like the one thing that you are interested in. Because I know y'all got multiple interests out there, some of you. So zone in on that one thing and master that craft, and you are going to reap the rewards financially in your career. Let's talk about sex here, okay? You're going to be very curious this year. You have heightened curiosity about a lot of people and a lot of things here. And for you, Geminis, what specifically is going to be important is for you during Venus retrograde to go inward and reflect on any types of like sexual experiences of what's excited you about partners in the past or a spouse in the past, if you've had a marriage before, anything like that, as well as experiment with new things that you want to try for the future. So retrogrades are really important for you to go inward to reflect on past sex, pleasure, intimacy with partners or solo play or groups or whomever it might be out there, right? And with Venus in retrograde during this time, this can also be very good for you to think about, have I self-sabotaged anything with my sexuality? Have I ever had too many relationships, sexually, or dated too many people at once? Because then did I F anything up here with Jupiter in your sign? Go back and watch the other video because that can impact you here overall. And also really think about who you want to be very intentional with when it comes to your sexual energy, meaning your creativity, your pleasure, and sex, and moving forward with people on these aspects. So sexual energy is not just sex here, y'all. It's also about emotional intimacy and pleasure, and really having this nice flow of creating the life that you want to have here and who you want to take pleasure in that with here. So it could be good for some of you to really understand whether or not your sexual energy is repressed at all, and if it is, watch that video under my videos tab. That could be good for you to listen to. Let's talk about spirituality and self-care. So your spiritual side is going to be growing more with Saturn and Pisces, and that's really going to be something where you may be wanting to learn a lot. Your brain is going to be so stimulated this next year, and universe, source, spirit, Saturn will also want you to ground your energy, calm down, and have a lot of Zen practices here. For some of you, you might have Gemini aspecting something specific in your chart here, where it could have a lot of channeled messages and downloads, and maybe you have mediumship abilities or gifts or things of that sort, because Gemini, you are the chatty ones, right? And if you have that aspecting somewhere with Saturn in your birth chart or in your transiting chart here, and Pisces transiting chart, moving forward, there could be a lot of different psychic downloads, hits, and abilities during this time. So it could be good for you to write some of that stuff down, really take care of yourself. Your home life, expect a harmonious home life, which I love, and a communicative home environment, especially when Venus does go direct here. So this is something where if you have roommates, family members, friends, loved ones, people are going to really surround themselves in your energy and really show up for you and connect with you during this time. You are definitely going to feel the big changes that are coming in for you in 2025 is going to be with your career and your love life here. So you're going to have a burst of clarity and shifts when it comes to both love and work. And with Saturn and Pisces and then Neptune and Pisces for the collective here, you could be getting a lot of messages in your dreams with that. So again, go back and watch my previous video, Gemini, but it could be good for you because I know you are the intellectual person, you are the student of the collective, and sometimes you want the proof, what are the messages here. Could be very good for you specifically to write a dream journal and start doing that this next year. My Cancer rising babies, let's talk about love and relationships for you, boo. Expect a lot of very deep emotional shifts in your relationships. You can really expect a lot more of connectedness, a lot more of overflowing of love and emotional intimacy specifically. And for you during Venus retrograde, my Cancer risings, you are really going to be assessing who actually meets my emotional needs here in my life, be it friends, family members, loved ones, partnerships, whatever, and who doesn't. Who does not deserve me and my energy? And who do I need to set boundaries with and keep at arm's length or just distance myself here? You are really going to be craving a lot more of authenticity in your relationships and just realness. So you're really looking for that honesty from other people. And so Venus retrograde really challenges you to go within and make an honest assessment of your relationships, the relationship with yourself, others, who deserves to be in your energy, who doesn't, who needs to be cut off, who do I not need to go back to, right? And how do I also want to stand up for myself and love myself more because you are the mother of the collective, right? Rather than other people, because I have been so nurturing and giving. So doing some shadow work can be very good for you during that time too, or answering some of those questions, boo. So definitely write that shit down or come back and watch this as much as you need, Cancers. Let's talk about career and finances, Cancer rising. So Saturn really pushes you to get very serious about your long-term financial goals. this might be the energy of like, what's your 1-year plan, 2-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan. And Saturn wants you to come up with a game plan of where you have more money for the long term. So if your job right now also feels like it's not really fulfilling, I do see a lot of you having a breakthrough and completely changing your careers here, okay? And this is not new information here. If you don't love what you do, you're not going to do it. That is just Cancerian energy here, right? You are a very emotional sign and sensitive sign, and your sensitivity is your superpower. And because of that, you have to be in a career that you really feel like, I love what I do. And if I don't love what I do, then you know that you are not in alignment with what it is you are destined to do here. So it could be good for you to look at your North Node too, because that could give you a lot of insight and information as well, or get a birth chart reading done with that as well too. Let's talk about sex, baby. You are gonna desire more emotional intimacy than ever. You with a partner, partners, or spouse here, you are like the sign that wants to be emotionally connected to them and then like have sex with them, right? And so in your sexual relationship specifically, you want to create this beautiful, like, let's talk about, our feelings and our emotions towards each other and one another, and also just really go through this kind of like deep divey experience of, let's just like talk about how life is, our sexual connection, our relationship. For a lot of you, I see you doing this more so with foreplay and aftercare. If you don't know what that is, those are BDSM and kink practices that can be applied to any types of sex out here, okay? So this is something where checking in with a partner or spouse before or after sex here, right? Having a lot of like just beautifully emotionally deep and intimate conversations, like, give me 5 things you love about me, or maybe even complimenting more people and telling them, like, sexual relationships or not, this is just the energy, sexual energy of like giving more people compliments and really just seeking that emotional feeling intimacy, going deep with people this year. No pun intended. Let's talk about spirituality and self-care. Your spiritual practices are really going to be important for you this year with Saturn and Pisces, and with you being also a water sign Cancer, this is something where spiritual growth is really going to help you weather any emotional storms, like feeling anything that may be challenging here. Now, you may need to allow yourself to cry. You may need to allow yourself to feel in order to heal. And this is about you standing in faith rather than fear of anything. So yes, feel with your emotions, let them out without identifying them. And you don't have to say like, this is my sadness, this is my joy, this is my anger, right? Like Inside Out or Inside Out 2. I haven't even seen those movies all the way through yet. Have y'all seen it? Is it good? Like, you might be like, what? You haven't seen that? I know, shocking. And we'll get there, y'all. But that is something where you don't have to say, this is mine, I claim it, because when you claim that energy, it can drain you overall in your body, and then it can have an impact on your mental health, your physical health, and your sexual health. So allow yourself to say, this feeling of sadness is here. I'm noticing it in my body. I'm crying. I'm allowing myself to sit in it here. And I'm sad. I'm noticing I'm feeling sad because fill in the blank, and wow, I feel so good. I got to cry. I got to let that out here. And although this situation may be difficult right now, this situation will not last forever. And I know the universe always conspires in my favor. I know the universe has my back. I know I've done everything, and I know I am letting go of control of this, and I'm trusting and accepting of this. So that's how you kind of flip, trusting the universe and really putting some things into spiritual practice here. With your home life, Saturn may create some responsibility at home where you might want to build some stronger foundations in regards of like chores, getting things done, having fun, and having a balance with that Pisces and Saturn too. So balance things out in your home life with rules and responsibilities overall. This is something where making sure you are paying bills on time, things like that financially as well. Or maybe a lot of you might be doing some things within your home to really take care of it more and do some things to have it be a place where It is your sanctuary. Big changes though. You might feel drawn to have a lot of overhaul of emotional connections in your life. Like, I want to go deeper with people. I want to go deeper with people. I want to go deeper with people, right? And this may be something that you're requiring this next year. Like, I don't have time for fake friendships. I don't have time for people who don't want to be real with themselves. And I don't have time for people that if they don't want me to be honest with them, then what am I doing here? Like, we aren't friends then. Like, I don't want to be your friend. So you're really leveling up with your values and friendships and relationships to your Cancers. So that's awesome. Leo risings. Let's talk about you, boo. For your loves and relationships, get ready to shine. I love this energy because Mars and Venus will be in your sign throughout this year, and it's gonna supercharge your love life here. So be prepared for passionate encounters, sex, dates, all the things, but also moments of reflection during Venus retrograde. And again, this is the energy of going within, doing your own work internally about what do I want for love, self-esteem, self-worth. What do I value within myself that I need to keep even if I fall in love with a partner here? How can I be independent as a partner here, not codependent or overly reliant on this other person if we are moving into a partnership together, or if I have multiple partners or a spouse and a partner, whatever, right? Your relationship dynamic looks like. How can I still hold space for myself, even if, new things or people are being birthed into existence here, be that more friends or family members or loved ones or whatever. So just really go within to take care of yourself early this Aries season to kind of really reflect on what do I also need for self-love in how my relationships are like moving and changing moving forward here, okay? With career and finances, congratulations, because Jupiter is expanding opportunities for career growth, more money, and more options here. For a lot of you, you will start a business. Take that leap of faith. This year is the year to do it, and you're going to be in for a thrilling year overall. This is something where if you've been getting the sign or thinking, wow, I wish I could just be my own business owner, or your part-time business and full-time in corporate, like, universe wants you to be full-time in your business here. And I've been saying this on my channel for a while, y'all, in the reads. If you know, Leo's babies. But you go all in, you get all the rewards, babies, okay? So sex, baby, let's talk about you, Leo. Mars makes you magnetic in your sign, and people notice. You're going to be receiving lots of compliments. This is like the glow up energy in season. I talked about Mars in your sign in the previous video, so go back and watch that if you haven't. This is like your time to shine, and the spotlight is on you. Main character energy. Let's just call it like we see it. You are going to be feeling more sexually confident, more bold sexually, and ready to explore new sexual desires here. You are really going to be taking the action to leap and move forward with this. And for those of you that have a partner, partners, or a spouse, whatever your relationship dynamic looks like, I think you're going to even shock them in some ways. And then after the fact, you're going to be like, damn, I shocked myself that I tried that or I did that new thing. Woo, look at me, right? Kind of energy. And other people are going to find you so confident that you are naturally going to have people come towards you here. And your confidence is going to rub off on some other people too. And a lot of you will naturally just hype other people up who might be single here as well. And then you are going to have like more and more abundant people come towards you, as well as those single babies out there too. So I love this for you, Leos. Let's talk about spirituality and self-care. You will really, during this next year, with the spotlight on you, especially with like the sexual energy with Mars and Leo later on, it's going to be important for you to also go within when it comes to your spiritual values and take time for yourself, especially for my singles out there if you are dating a lot of different people here, but really connect with your deeper self too. So don't forget to like take yourself out on dates and practice that for self-care and self-love, and spiritually think about like your values when it comes to, other relationships or friendships or people in your life, and whether or not they feel right to be with anymore. A lot of good outlets for you could be getting the answers through meditation during this time, or just even creating something or writing something, or just getting lost in something, and then before you know it, boom, you got that aha moment here, okay? Your home life, family matters will really come to the surface as you focus on your self-empowerment here. So your confidence is going to legit get a glow up later on this year, but you are going to also have to balance, what do I want, kind of me sun energy, right? And other people and personal home responsibilities here. How do I balance this here? How do I balance myself and a spouse here? How do I balance myself and my kids here? How do I balance myself and a pet here? How do I balance myself and chores here? How do I balance, myself and work from home or whatever it might be, right? So really take the time to go in and think about these things. This year, the big change for you is you are going to feel more empowered to actually chase your dreams and move forward, but don't forget to balance in your self-love and your self-care. That's going to be important for you this year. Virgo risings, let's talk about you, boo. Your love and your relationships really call for you to go within your own hermit mode energy, introspect, and really reflect. There's going to be some sort of enlightenment where you are called to move in and out of some of these energies during Venus retrograde and to really think about love, to really think about relationships, your love with yourself and your self-worth and your self-esteem here. A lot of you are going to really rethink like your romantic ideals, what you appreciate with romance, what you don't like with romance, and also finding a balance between what you desire for order and emotional fulfillment here. So like the balance of exploring romance and emotional fulfillment and really being able to think about this and also feel into this a little bit more. So the universe is really asking you to feel into these things during Venus retrograde with yourself. With career and finances, Jupiter definitely offers you big career growth. Saturn, however, might slow things down for you. And this is because Saturn wants us to be diligent. Saturn is really asking you this year during Jupiter wanting to expand things, and then Saturn is also saying like, well, be slow and steady and make sure you have all the fine print and all the details and you check everything here, right? Like for some of you that could be with contracts, new job opportunities, everything along those lines. Saturn may also be implementing different types of life lessons or responsibilities on you that maybe you haven't learned in this particular job or career setting. Some of you might be getting trained and they may ask you, go back and redo this training on this because you're making an error on X document, X form, or this process isn't done exactly how it needs to do it and the system really needs you to do it this way, whatever it might be, right? That's just an example, but you really are wanting to slow things down here. It's not about hurry up, the Jupiter and Gemini energy just to get the job done. We have it all figured out and boom, now I get this like career reward here. Yay, like look at me, I did this and this and this and this and this, like going off your Virgo to-do list here, right? No. Saturn is like, don't just check the box to check the box that it's done. Check the box and make sure you go through step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here and make sure you actually did the full thing. Saturn wants to make sure you do it all and you don't half-ass anything here. So this is like a warning for some of you. Otherwise you could get talked by employers, bosses, whatever, supervisors, or there could be some clerical mistakes here. So really focus on long-term stability over very short, quick wins and competitiveness with this, okay? Let's talk about sex, baby. So you are more practical in your desires this year, meaning you know what you like, you know what you want, and you know what you don't, and you're just saying it. And you are also more open to exploring sex and other types of intimacy through a deeper emotional connection this year, which I really love. And this is because there's so many different planets on the outskirts of stuff in Pisces, and this will influence you and affect you because there is going to be a lot of emotions in 2025 and feelings. And so this year for you, Virgos, when it comes to sexual connections and energy, your sacral chakra is going to be very important for you to work on here. The creativity, the divine feminine, the flow, don't force, the be, don't do, being present in the moment, getting out of your head and into your body more, and creating pleasure, creating joy, creating happiness in different types of sex and intimacy and pleasure, sexual self-care that you want to be with overall. So really, you might be open to exploring like this new kink, this new toy, this new lube, this new position, this new whatever, or just being open to exploring like emotionally intimate moments with a partner, partners, or spouse here, right? Meaning like, let's just do eye gazing activities and just see what that's like for a couple minutes and see if I can send, my partner or my spouse here or partners, loving thoughts and energies by just eye gazing with them, right? That's a very emotionally deep exercise to do, right? Let's talk about spirituality and self-care. It's definitely going to be important for you to consistently nourish your body and mind and routines this year too. So make sure you are taking care of yourself, you're grounding your energy, you're sticking to routines that work for you. And for a lot of you, it can be really good with all the emotional water that's collectively going to affect the energies with your sibling sign, Pisces, to get any thoughts, any feelings, any beliefs, any ruminative thinking, worry, stress, anxieties, like literally through journaling, like write it down. Journaling is going to be your best friend this year, as well as grounding your energy, being in the present moment. Meditating, breath work, mindfulness, awareness is going to be big for you this year, Virgo. And also sweat it out. Get into like a fitness routine that you enjoy. Don't overthink it. Just do it. Do the things that help you feel emotionally clear and emotionally grounded and like out of your head and into your body and mindful. With your home life, you're really going to crave a lot of peace and organization in your home. So make sure you're cleansing your energy by not letting clutter fill up your space in your home and being very strategic about that. So being consistent with just cleaning up some different spaces throughout the day and being very intentional and mindful with that. So not letting laundry pile up and then doing the next load and the next load and the next load. And before you know, you got 3 loads, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, that's so much. And then you just feel like it mentally drags you down and exhausts you. So it's going to be important for you to really step into that. For a lot of you too, there could be some family dynamics going on at home. You might be stepping into new or different roles here when it comes to some things where you might be trying to navigate, how does this kind of shift if I'm, typically the person that is going into the office and I'm working from home here, or I have to pick up the kids now. My partner got this new job here, right? So like pay attention to any types of family dynamics or home roles shifting, right? Or just changes with that. Some big changes with you. This year is really the year to embrace responsibility in work and home life. And Saturn is really being diligent in your sibling sign, again, Pisces, to establish the long-term stability for success here. So routines. I can't say it enough for you, Bill. For my Libra risings here, love and relationships, Venus retrograde. You are ruled by Venus, the planet of love, money, pleasure, self-esteem, working on yourself. This is going to push you to reassess your relationships and helping you refine what you want in love. Authenticity is really key for you, as well as decision-making mode here, okay? If it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no. If it's a I'm not sure, then it's a no. If it's a heck yes, then it's a yes, okay? So really get clear on the decisions with your relationships here. And you don't have to keep giving so many people so much extra time here. Venus retrograde is going to be a time that really illuminates some things to you to go inward about your relationships. How did I show up maybe too much for this other person? How did I people please the situation with this friend? How did I people please, any relationships with love or sex or partnerships or money, or be overly giving of my energy, my time, my connection, my emotional energies, right? Because Libra's a part of your shadow is people-pleasing tendencies here. And that's something where it's a beautiful time to really take the moments for you to look at that during Venus retrograde, because you are the we energy, and it's so beautiful because you are so giving, and your sibling sign Aries is the me energy. And so sometimes we need to also be about me in a way where you balance out your sibling sign opposite that really allows you to say no and also be a person that steps up for themselves and is confident and is capable of setting and holding those boundaries relationally, love, friendships, all the above, right? Sex, money, the things with yourself and other people. Let's talk about career and finances here. So Mars really supercharges your career sector. So this is going to be something where you're going to have a lot of financial breakthroughs. There's going to be a lot of changes. A lot of you are going to be shifting and pivoting things in your career here. You're going to have the aha moments and you're gonna be like, this is it. This is what I have to do. So in order for you to maybe creatively move or make moves in your career here, like act right away. When it comes to anybody asking you to do something though, avoid rushing the big decisions with this, because Mars is very fast, it's very aggressive, it's very in your face, it's very I want to move forward with this. It's also sexual libido, so careful about like any sex and career affairs or anything like that. Overall, this is just something to be mindful of with Mars charging your career and finances sector, or someone making a pass at you in your career, your work environment, sexual harassment. That's just how I read the energies with that too. But again, take your time with decisions, but don't sabotage it to the point of where you take months to actually move forward on something here. So just pay attention to that. Let's talk about sex. We did already a little bit here, but you are in for a wild ride and an exciting time this year in 2025, Libras. There are going to be new things that you're really thinking about with sex, and that you are really kind of desiring with sexual energies in the forefront. So a lot of you are going to think, wow, I used to really appreciate or value this in sex or that in sex or whatever with sex, right? And this is a time for you to really think about and communicate openly what you do and what you don't want with sex. So again, this is the time to be very much so discerning about your turn-ons and your turn-offs, your yeses and your nos, what you are willing to do for others and what you are not willing to do for others sexually, and just be vocal about that. So setting and holding sexual boundaries are going to be key for you, as well as having these conversations multiple times here. So consent is sexy, boo. Spirituality and self-care balance is definitely going to be crucial for you this year, because of everything going on with your career sector being charged and like moving forward with breakthroughs and decisions. Don't neglect yourself here with that. So make sure you establish healthy self-care routines throughout this year. Really, really, really balance out things with spirituality and self-care. Enjoy art and beauty and like pleasure and things that really, about the environment or places or spaces that feel really comfy and cozy to you, that bring you joy, be it going to museums, that restaurant environment that you love, going to that concert, that music, that whatever. That's going to also be good for you to just have this really good downtime as you are making a lot of different changes and decisions when it comes to career, when it comes to finances, when it comes to your sex life, when it comes to love and the relationship with yourself. Home is going to be your sanctuary this year. So definitely invest time in making it a place of peace where you can rejuvenate throughout this year and through this year's busyness, because you're about to be busy, Libra. This is something where things are shifting for you so much energetically that you also need to set self-care boundaries and times on your schedule where your home is your sanctuary. So maybe blocking off, a weekend a month, or maybe 2 weekends a month during busy times of the year, for you personally, professionally, to like slow down. And this is like this is my, like in my sorority would call it like a dead week, right? Like don't plan anything on this. This is a dead week, right? So maybe this is like a dead week for you, or a weekend, or a self-care weekend for you. So this year it's going to be really important for you to put in those times off, and be very strategic and set and hold those boundaries to a T, because this is going to be a lot of personal growth. That is your big changes this year. It's going to be about personal growth and embracing both relationships and also independence, from breaking free from anything that felt like I can't be in these relationships anymore with these people, or these people don't have the same values as me. And really finding harmonious healing and time this year is going to be a definitive thing for you to be able to flow through all these different major transitions. Also be mindful of energies in your home, your space, people wanting to take over, and really you need to take over your space is what I feel like telling you this year. So set and hold those boundaries, boo. For my Scorpio risings out there, Venus retrograde is going to push you to really confront some emotional baggage in your relationships here. So this could be like, well, how am I emotionally showing up for other people and they're not showing up for me? How am I, holding back any secrets here about sex, sexuality, love with those types of connections, or what pleases me? how am I not being, in receiving mode of people taking me out on dates, people, like treating me every once in a while financially or showing up for me in these types of ways here. So there could be a lot of like relational love finances, things that you might need to be working on and through during this time, Scorpios, as well as figuring out what the heck it is that you want moving forward this year in the relationship with yourself. So there's probably going to be a lot of intense emotions with this, but it's going to bring you to so much more beautiful connections that you are really attracted to, even with friendships that you're going to find a lot of pleasure with. There's also going to be moments where you need to necessarily detach from different types of energies that just don't feel right for you anymore. And a lot of you more than likely will be cutting off some people this year that just are not good friends, not good family members, not good relationships, and you're going to close up a major cycle with that. And congratulations in advance. That may be hard, and some of you may also be going through some divorces during this year just based off of things that are going on in your chart. So it's like with Venus retrograde, this is a great time for you to go within and really think about the things that you want to have in all types of relationships. And how do I also want to make sure I am prioritizing the relationship with me and I am being very clear and consistent with my boundaries, not only with myself, with other people too in my life. So pay attention to that. With career and finances, Mars is definitely going to be helping you out in your career houses with ambition. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be really fun work for a lot of you this year. You're going to have a blast with this. Just be careful. Don't burn yourself out with, later on this year when it's in your sign of like being so obsessive in that energy and like feeling like, oh my God, I got to act now, be aggressive now, move forward on this now. And then before you know it, boom, like you work 12 hours in a day and then you're like, why am I so tired? The next day and the next day and the next day. Well, Scorpios, you legit worked 12 hours, 2 days ago. And like one day of rest and recharge isn't going to be enough, right? Or if you consistently task switched from this thing to that thing to another thing to another thing, it's like, whoa, you might need a day or 2 or 3 to slow down energetically. So make sure to be mindful. Don't burn yourself out in the pursuit of success. Take your breaks, drink your water, have your self-care, don't care plans in place. Okay, let's talk about sex. Scorpio, later on this year, your energy is magnetic and at an all-time high. More than likely, people are going to be very attracted to you because you might be asking them different questions about sex, understanding people's kinks, fantasies, fetishes, and really like you're transforming your intimacy and the sexual energy within yourself and your sexual self-care through sex, intimacy, and pleasure. And also you're going to be like getting off, for lack of better terms, on like having these better, more intimate, deep connections with people here. So this is something where you are going to be very much so transforming. Some of you may be coming out as poly, as queer, as kinky, as whatever here. And really it's going to be a time of deep transformation for a lot of you. So I love this for you, Scorpios. It's going to be beautiful. With spirituality and self-care, you are going to also need to protect your energy because there is going to be a lot of water in the collective energies. And also there's going to be a lot of things that you are deep diving within yourself for emotional depth here. So this is something where Saturn will really challenge you to also make sure you are responsible with moving forward on any internal blocks here, on things that could be really good for you to apply life lessons that you don't repeat those patterns in the future. So shadow work is going to be really helpful for fears, your psyche, yourself, as well as always just slowing down your energy and being very present and meditating on these different types of things here. Your home life might feel chaotic or intense at times. So really, if you can have your own emotional space, your own emotional cocoon, your own like Zen space for yourself here to slow down and ground your energy, like be it a meditation station, be it an affirmation corner, be it, a tarot corner, be it a relaxation corner, like whatever the heck you want to call it, like have it be your own little sanctuary where it's like, this is my space. I get to go here and it's like for me, myself, and I. My me time is my be time. Okay. So make sure you are being at home too. And make sure that you are balancing, giving to others, also giving to yourself here as well. So if there are other people that are coming into your home creating chaos, be it friends, family members, exes, partners, spouse, whatever, just people that are negative energy vampires, I really do seeing a lot of you needing to close out these cycles, cut these people off because they are energetically could be like dragging you down. And maybe it might feel very chaotic and intense and challenging for you. And it's okay for you to speak up and tell people how you feel and tell people how they've hurt you and hold the boundaries of you are not energetically allowed in my home or my space anymore, or for this amount of time I need to distance myself from you. So your big changes and themes this year is a lot of transformation in yourself and your personal growth that really challenges your old ways of thinking. Like, same me, but level up me. So this is kind of like your level up year where you are really reinventing yourself here, Scorpio. So I love this. Sagittarius risings. Let's get to you, boo. Your love and relationships is really adventurous calls. So a lot of you are going to be traveling, trying new dates, exploring things more, having a lot of fun this year. And Venus retrograde may create some temporary setbacks for some of you, meaning you and partners, if you are partnered or you have a spouse here, it might bring up some things where you may need to show up for them in love different ways that you might show up for yourself. And so love languages might be something that you talk about, you think about, you work on, just modern day ones for your relationship, your partners, your spouse, your marriage here, whatever. And this is something that can be really good for you to also think about, like money with this as well. That could be something where if you and a partner or someone you are married with, you might be having lots of money conversations. How much are we spending on all these adventures? How much are we doing all these things? Are we budgeting? Whatever here. And also for a lot of you, this is going within to understand too, am I self-sabotaging anything with my money, the things I want to do? Can I create an effort budget so I can go and have fun, right? And not be so nervous or worried about some of these things here. So just pay attention to Venus retrograde and also hold yourself accountable to going within yourself in order to try to clear up any types of conflict or communication for those that you have partners, or spouse here to do that. And for others of you, to hold yourself accountable to how do I want to love myself more? How do I want to focus on my self-worth? What do I need to do to actually know, what is real love versus fake love? What don't I tolerate anymore in friendships, relationships, the relationship with myself? And how can I break this, habit here? Overall, you are really seeking freedom and love and a lot of passion, and you're going to be getting that. So congratulations. With career and finances, Jupiter brings big career growth, which I love. And Daddy Saturn also reminds you, stay disciplined, stay diligent. And this is something where you are be growing so much, also like needing to be able to have structure in that growth here. So you'll have structured freedom, which really sounds like an oxymoron here, right? Like you need to have the structure of some things, and you also need to be able to be free by a certain time of day. So for a lot of you, you're going to be very strategic this year of how can I create my schedule in order to free up my time. It's kind of like the 4-hour work week vibe and energy. If you know, that could be a good book for some of you to read out there, especially for a lot of you who are going to be traveling more this year and traveling for a career specifically. You may also have lots of conversations in regards to that with bosses or supervisors or employers to say, hey, if I'm going to be required or asked to travel this year, this is something where I need to also open up this free time and like move forward in order to allow myself to do this and like structure my schedule a little bit differently here. So you're going to get really crafty with this. So I love it. Let's talk about sex, baby. You are definitely in an exploratory mood this year, and I'm here for it. Sagittarius says, so you are going to be very sexually curious this year. So you are really going to stay open to different types of things with sex. A lot of you are going to be very curious about different types of sex, kinky sex, fetishes. A lot of you are going to be very curious about polyamory. A lot of you are going to be very curious about swingers and retreats because, you might also, I said this in the other video, some of you might be traveling, you might find love while you travel for a career or just travel in general, like for my singles out there. And some of you might be like going to swingers retreats for different types of things. And you also need to be very mindful of deeper emotional needs when it comes to a partner, partners, or a spouse here, and really have these conversations for those of you that aren't single. And for those of you that are single, again, feelings are also important too. So pay attention and really hone in on EQ. Ask people about, even with sex, like checking in on them. Are you okay? This and that, whatever, because consent is sexy and consent can change in the moment. So this is important for you in order to expand sexually and allow your curiosity to lead the way. You're also going to have to check in, and you get to check in, with a partner, partners, or spouse here in regards of sex and the different things that you might be trying to explore a little bit more. For spirituality and self-care, like, you are going to really expand your spiritual horizons. Some of your philosophical values might change here a little bit with spirituality. Some of you are going to be traveling to new places where you are really going to be opened up to new ideas, new worldviews, new philosophies, and a lot of you are really going to deepen your meditation practice here and really learn different types of meditation. So, it can be visualization, guided imagery, breath work exercises. It might also be different types of things that you learn from different cultures or culturally specific as well while traveling too. Your home life, you may feel the need to kind of move or shift here your living space to kind of align with new goals. And you're kind of like, well, for some of you, you might also be moving this year too, just with different changes in your career sector and finances, as well as like love. Now, I'm not saying you're going to completely move out of state or out of country or whatever. Like, even with that, it could be you have to move to a city that's closer to work, so the commute is less or whatever, right? If they don't allow you to work from home. For others of you, you might be moving from an office to working at home here, and it could just literally be like moving your home space to align to actually work with different things with your home. So again, you might also be shifting some things for personal goals at home with the space. So this might be, having an at-home gym, having an at-home meditation station, having an at-home space for self-care. It's kind of something where you are getting in alignment. So you're changing your environment to be open to receiving these changes and having it match what you want to do and be vibrationally at that frequency and that energy, which I think is great. Big changes this year is like freedom is the driving force for you. Definitely balance it with commitment and responsibility in the key areas of your life, and you're gonna be looking good, Saggy Poo. Capricorn risings, I'm one of you. Hi Cappies, definitely leave me, a goat or the Capricorn emoji in the comments below, yo. But let's talk about our love life and relationships. So Capricorns, we're being asked to open up emotionally this year. We're asked to actually share how we feel. We're the most anxious, sign, be it, sun, moon, rising, or if you have a shit ton of Capricorn in your chart, right, is the most anxious. So a lot of times, it's that infamous quote, like, check in on the strong one, right? And so Venus retrograde is really asking Capricorn risings to go in specifically and think about, how have I not been in touch with my emotions, with myself, or even being vulnerable and sharing that with other people? And, if I experienced a lot of difficult or hard times in the past and I haven't shared that with people, maybe this is a great opportunity for me to encourage myself to have those deep conversations and say, I can do this, I can move forward about love and about partnerships and about friendships and about money and about security and about stability and, self-esteem here. You're stronger when you share those things. So you're stronger when you cry in front of people. I don't care who's like, no, that's not strong, that's weak, right? Like, that is not a thing here overall. So this is a big thing where with all of this, go within during this Venus retrograde and really think about, your relationship with yourself and other people and how that is coming up for you. With career and finances, this is such a big career building year. And I said this in the other video, it's so beautiful because we legit had Pluto in Capricorn since 2008. It is now in Aquarius, right? So now a lot of you are going to be jumping into brand new sectors for career. Some of you building a career, some of you building a business. Some of you are just really going to be very dedicated to your work, staying focused and legit being the GOAT, climbing up the mountain. So some of you are going to be promoted in your career. Congratulations. And for others of you, you're like, I'm giving myself this promotion here as a boss, right? I'm leveling up skill-wise or raising my rates or my prices or my products or my services on things for business owners out there. So Saturn, you being ruled by that, is also having you think about really ensuring and securing your long-term success through steady effort. And you know this, Capricorn. So for anything that you want to be able to work on professionally with a goal, like don't burn yourself out, don't overwork, don't be that workaholic that I know you can be. Calling myself out on that one too, shamelessly here, right? So Saturn is like slow and steady wins the race, one step at a time. Let's talk about sex, baby. So sexual pleasure, intimacy, and overall sex, sexual intimacy and pleasure are all different, right? It's going to be a priority. Capricorns, you're really craving like a deeper, meaningful connection with your sex life overall. For a lot of you, this has been something where you feel connected or are wanting to feel connected, more to a partner, partners, or spouse through sex. And it's kind of like this spiritual energy that comes with that. So I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like when you have sex with somebody, and be it a partner, partner, spouse, whatever, you want that energetic value to be spiritually connected and aligned, where you can just be so in the moment and so enthralled and so trusting of this person. So a lot of you are wanting this deeper, sensual sex where it really allows you to explore, but also potentially having more connections with this too in your sex life. Some of you might be looking into BDSM and kink practices, a dom, a sub, a switch, or even like some of you may also, be a part of the queer community, and you might be looking up to opening up a relationship or a marriage here when it comes to these different types of things, to really like explore that more. So, and a lot of you who are in monogamous relationships and everything like that with your sex life, you are going to just want that deepness sexually. Oh, my dirty mind over here. Anywho, it comes to not only just sex, but everything underneath that, the emotions, the physical closeness, the security, the psychological safety, the sexual safety, just everything. With your spirituality and self-care this year, Capricorn rising, really going on nature walks is going to be big here for you to also clear your mind with these different things that you're asked to work on this year on your self-care. Really keep up on the self-care routines, keeping yourself centered, even with self-care, looking as something where it feels like this is a goal I have for myself here and I'm going to stick to it. Like, you will do it, Capricorns, okay? In your home life, your family dynamics might shift a little bit, and it's all for your personal growth and strengthening of emotional bonds. So for a lot of you, because you're actually emotionally leveling up this year and sharing with other people how things in relationships maybe have affected you, that might change some family dynamics, meaning you might challenge some people on boundaries here and setting and holding things. You might challenge people on how they are treating you here. And again, not allowing them to treat you how they think you should be treated. Really, it's about how you want to be treated here. And with that, there is going to be a lot of breakdowns in order to break through in regards of family life here. It's one of those things where it's like there's the, group phases in psychology, and this comes up in work, this comes up in friendships, friend groups, it comes up in family dynamics. You have the forming, we're working on something together, where we're coming to this. You have the norming, like we're getting used to each other's like kind of personality and routines and things like that. And then we have, the working, like we're working on these things and blah, 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 blah. And then we have the storming, and I might be mixing up the last two because it's been a while since I've read this stuff, so don't quote me, boo. But when you have the storming, it's like so many people are afraid to actually weather the storm. And when you have the storm, it is like the conflict, the charging situations, the things that may be really hard emotionally, where you're being challenged and tested to close up cycles around how people are treating you and work through the conflict. So we don't avoid, that's a shame behavior. We don't run away from the situation, that's also a shame behavior. And we don't try to control, that is also a shame behavior here. So this is something where you might be calling people out on this, they might be calling you out on this. And it could be like, ugh, how that hurt, right? And this is where it's important for a lot of people in the family dynamics and the roles to not triangulate, not to scapegoat, not to run away from any manipulation tactics here, but really be honest and vulnerable in your personal growth, and also share about these things for you too in your emotional bonds and connections here. So 2025 for Capricorn risings, it's all about the steady progress ahead, and your perseverance is going to be so rewarded this year with the hard work and dedication that you have had all the years past with Pluto and in your sign, as well as just major level ups overall. So I love this. My Aquarius risings here. Let's talk about love and relationships. You will have a lot of sudden shifts in your relationships when Venus retrograde is really having you rethink your connections here. You are a very intellectual sign, and because of that, you're going to be like really thinking through, who do I want to be connected with here and who does not deserve you. And Aquarius says, I think a lot of you really love to just be free and rebel and these different things, and it's kind of like if there's any connections that really try to, push you down or control you or like cage you or manipulate, you're like, nah, these gotta go. So you are gonna start to value independence more than ever. That's just how it is. Call it like I see it. For a lot of you, you're gonna be out there more, exploring more connections, more communities that feel really right for you, and you're gonna reflect on ex-lovers, ex-friends, relationships, partnerships, family members, whatever during this time be really good for you, as well as how do I also hold autonomy for my independence, because that's what I value here, and I want this, I need this, I require this in the relationship with me. And again, that's also important for you to look at money and finances here too, independently for yourself. Like, how do you also hold space for, things that are good for you to spend that energy on, versus have I been, overgiving in love or relationships or other people, or they don't always plan things for me either here. So it's really going to be important for you to think through some of these things and start valuing your worth and you overall and who actually gets in your energy, because you're the most unique sign of the 12 here. Okay. With your career and finances, I just love this energy for you, Aquarius, because you are so innovative. Jupiter is really having you, and not only in 2025, but even right now when I'm recording this in 2024, really having you fuel your creativity and allowing yourself to play. It's a very beautiful sexual energy where you get to craft the life that you want, create the life that you want, be the artist of your life, and really use this energy to explore new career paths. So a lot of you are probably going to be doing some things very futuristic and jumping ahead and jumping timelines here in your career, because you are so innovative, and that's going to really reward you overall, creating something brand new here that could help the collective, as well as with all the shifts here with Pluto in your sign moving forward. There's going to be so much more technological advances, and a lot of you Aquariuses will be behind that as well here. But you are going to really kind of explore some new things with your career paths, and probably start some new different types of, for some of you, like services out there where it's like, well, I do this and I do that, which might sound like, like they're two completely different services, but they're actually like complementary here. Let's talk about sex, baby. So your approach to sex is more cerebral this year. You are actually gonna be like communicating about sex more and having more fun with it, and just kind of seeing like, oh, is this person into me? Like, do they like me? And just putting it out there. It's like F it and find out energy, literally, and I love it. And there's gonna be a lot of new creative ideas in the bedroom. You're gonna be like, let's try this, let's try that. And it's like, it's very crafty, fun, again, creative sexual energy where you are playing. Some of you are going to have play partners. That's just what it is. You're going to be role playing some different scenes. You're going to be playing with some different items, some different products, some different toys. And I just think that's beautiful for you. With your spirituality and self-care, Saturn is really encouraging you this year. Spiritual discipline for you is key, Aquarius, okay? So a lot of you are going to be needing to consider to explore esoteric practices such as, Reiki, working on the chakras, energy healing, crystals, astrology, tarot, oracle, psychic readings here. And for you, there might be something in one of these areas or just another area spiritually that you are going to be very dedicated and needing to stick to this discipline with it overall for your self-care. Your home life may feel kind of turbulent at times. So there's going to be a lot of different changes. Like the astrology is really asking you to embrace the change, because change is the only constant. And, stay open to that. You are a fixed sign, so you can be stubborn, and stay open and flexible to some possibilities to kind of like seek new ways to create stability in the chaos or midst of things. You could have a lot of people, coming over to your place, staying at your home, your space, whatever. And it might feel kind of like turbulent, like, oh my gosh, this is so much here. But like, how can I have fun with this, right? How can I not stress about this? How can I say, all right, I'm fucking stressed here. And you know what? I'm going to look at it this way and do this way, and this is actually going to make it more fun if I just go this route. So try to seek that for yourself. The biggest challenge for you this year, or the biggest change, my bad, but no challenge, no change might be a great quote for you to kind of adopt this year. The biggest change for you is really going to have you be innovative and have structure in your approaches here, okay? So some of you is going to be important for you to have play days where you get to just have innovation, but structure within those play days here, okay? So maybe sticking to, what is that one innovative idea I have, or maybe 3 like small things, and breaking it up with time chunking can be really good to maybe structure areas of your life. And for some of you, if it's like, okay, today this is my one chore I want to get done, right? And then this is the one new thing that I really want to play around with in my job or my career here or my business here, right? And then I also want to see if I can create like a good after self-care routine and structure when I'm done working for the day, right? So really try to balance those energies with this. The last but not least, Pisces risings here. Let's talk about you, boo. So you have a lot going on this year. You have multiple planets in your signs, and you carry the collective on your back here. So this is going to be a year where you really have to challenge yourself to stay grounded, stay present, stay in the moment, be aware, mindfulness, not escape, not have effort moments, not run away from maybe difficult things or situations, and also protect your energy this year. Don't be so overly giving to other people when you have a lot going on energetically, just based on the planets in your signs here, okay? Love and relationships, boo. Venus retrograde pushes you to explore the depths of emotional intimacy here. Really go in, hone in on your emotional intimacy with yourself. Am I shielding my emotions? Am I masking my emotions? Am I hiding anything? Am I hiding my psyche, my moods, my depression, my anxiety, my mental health, my emotional health here? Because those can be different things here. So it's really allowing yourself to go inward and emotionally focus on your own healing here. And some of you might be seeking help with this overall too. A lot of you might also just be reevaluating relationships that are just toxic, not healthy, not good for you, and really saying, I need to close the chapter here on this book, and I am going to open up myself to a brand new book here with brand new chapters and all the things that I want in the future. And that could be a really great way to manifest after Venus retrograde. So go inward during Venus retrograde, think about the relationship with yourself, your emotional intimacy with self, others, and relationships, as well as like your money and your finances here, the pleasure, the joy, your self-esteem. And then once Venus retrograde is over, maybe calling in those new manifestations of what you really want to make space for healthy relationships. What does a healthy relationship feel like? And is that actually what a healthy relationship is? So really thinking about relationship red flags and green flags. Again, like my resource all about the relational inventory, relationship inventory here on my store, that could be a good resource for you, Pisces. With your career and finances here, Saturn does bring some career challenges where this feels like, wow, I have to work so freaking hard, and your emotions might be at an all-time high because it is in your sign here. So there could be a lot of frustrations. There could be a lot of misunderstandings here, with other bosses, structures, higher up people, because Saturn is also, companies, is corporate. It's like reputation. It's public image here. So pay attention to anybody trying to also like diminish your reputation, or also put you like on a pedestal, with this being in your sign specifically here. But with hard work and dedication, and really sharing like, I'm doing my best with this, and talking to bosses or employers or whatever, you are going to emerge stronger in these energies. So really focus on those long-term goals, and also Take your time to break things down in steps and don't be hard on yourself. Practicing self-compassion is going to be key. Let's talk about sex, baby. You're going to have a lot of emotional connection and intimacy, and I feel like that is so beautiful, Pisces, because you are like the sign sexually that loves to create, loves to be loved, loves to, have that emotional connection with your sexual experiences with other people. So you're really going to get to know people on a deeper emotional level, and you're really going to crave intimacy like that touches the soul. So for a lot of you, you are naturally going to connect to people and attract people that you're like, oh my gosh, like you just know what I'm saying, you just know what I mean, you should know this, that, whatever, right? So this is very beautiful overall. There is a ton of wonderful connections coming in here too, so just pay attention to that. With your self-care and spirituality, dream work is going to be very, very, very important for you. Writing your dreams down, it's going to offer you a lot of clarity, a lot of signs, a lot of synchronicities, a lot of images, a lot of numbers, color psychology, spiritual animals, ancestors, guides. Like there's just going to be situations that are potentially going to be played out in your dreams that are going to provide you a lot of healing and a lot of promotion. So promotion, maybe you're getting a promotion here, right? But like a promotion to like feeling good and secure in yourself here. So if you need to call on your spiritual team, your ancestors, your angels, your guides, your spiritual animal totems, like whatever it might be, the angel that you were born with at birth could be a good one for you to work with during this time. Like ask them for those signs and ask them for that before you go to bed when you are about to dream and you're drifting off. Like, universe, can you please just give me a sign when it comes to this, frustrating work situation? How can I take care of this? Please show me in my dreams and make it so obvious to me, right? Let's say you had that dream here and maybe it doesn't happen the next day, but if it's in your, subconscious, it will more than likely show up in your dreams eventually. And, journal about it, right? Take the time in the morning, get very diligent on dream journaling, because before you know it, there's going to be like, well, how did this even relate to work? And then if you interpret and intuit your dreams, you're going to figure out how it actually connects to your psyche. So I hope that makes sense for y'all. Your home life, you're really going to seek peace at home. It's going to be your sanctuary, the place that you really need for rejuvenation this year, the space that you really need for reflection and introspection of like, where am I going in love? Where am I going in career? Where am I going in finances here? For those of you that do work at home, make sure that you are just setting really good boundaries with your career. Like when I'm done, I'm done. Like I'm not working anymore. Close computer, off, by. When it comes to people coming in and out of your home, again, really set and hold those firm boundaries here to just like protect your energy in your space specifically, as well as with like love or relationships or friendships that might be coming over too. So really take the time to go inward for reflection, and also make sure you don't isolate. So we really want to make sure that you are around community and everything like that this year. Is going to be important, and make sure that you just take time to reflect on things moving forward too. The big changes for you are really going to be through your spiritual values, your life purpose, your growth, and your emotional growth here. So you're going to be integrating lots and lots and lots of lessons here. And what the astrology is really asking you, Pisces, is to surrender, to let go, and to really trust the process here. So we got through all 12 signs here. Let me know, everybody, how you're feeling about the astrology deep dive fortune for you and your rising sign. Did you check your rising? Did you check your sun and your moon? Let me know in the comments below what resonated with you and how you plan to use these energies. If you're already feeling these energies going into 2025, or just even consider dropping me a heart just to support the channel, help it grow, Shameless Squad, or give me that thumbs up like. It's completely free to you. And that's so important to me, and telling me I should keep going with my videos and my channels here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. As always, thank you so much for being here, and stay tuned for more, and stay shameless.